Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now Vault.
Yes, this is Bowman Woods School Hall. This is Mrs. Stoll. School is dismissing at 10:25 today because of the weather, and Brian did not know what to do or where to go.
They were making calls like that all morning, trying to cope with the weather and the difficulties that come with getting 470 kids home early, safely. Like most eastern Iowa schools, Bowman Woods has already had a couple of snow days this year, time that will eventually have to be made up.
The state legislature says we're supposed to go 180 days, but they'll usually forgive one day and 179 days. But our calendar is only 179 days, so we do have to make them up. As to whether we have to make this one up or not, that'll be up to the school board. Generally, they'll determine whether we've gone to school long enough to count it as a school day or not.
Those makeup days will probably come in June. It will shorten summer vacation for many, but for now, most of the kids here don't seem to mind.
You get to go home early and you have more time to play than you do when you go home at 3:30. And it's just great.
That's sort of fun for the kids. Sometimes I like to stay home at school,
How come?
because you get to do fun things.
John Okerstrom, 2 Action News, Cedar Rapids.
This is Highway 63 north of Waterloo. Visibility was zero in some areas as high winds whipped drifted snow and sleet. Some motorists got stuck and required help in getting out. Others had to pull off the road to get the sleet off their windshield wipers. All state and county and city plows had been pulled off roads and highways by mid-afternoon because the wind was defeating them. In Waterloo, flights were canceled at the airport, and Greyhound bus service was also called off for the day. But Metro buses were able to operate throughout the city. While generally the city streets were passable, they were also slick. A semi-driver from Oklahoma City jackknifed his rig on Highway 218 late this afternoon.
Road's been real bad?
Most of the way. Most of the way from Kansas City, Missouri, we hit slick roads. It's been all the way since then.
You gonna keep driving tonight, or is this it?
This is it. This is it. That's where we're gonna tie it up.
Cedar Rapids street crews have had to plow around parked cars for weeks. Normally it's no big deal, but this hasn't been a normal winter. The snow has been extra heavy.
The traveled portion of the streets are becoming narrower and narrower with every snowstorm that we get now, and we're only halfway through the winter. I wish we were all the way through, but we're only halfway through. So we have to get this snow back over the curbs at this time to make room for maybe 15 or how many more inches we might receive before spring.
For the first time, Commissioner Wayne Murdoch is enforcing a city ordinance that gives him the power to move cars out of snow emergency routes. Streets marked with this sign. 5 of those streets will be plowed tomorrow. 2nd and 3rd Avenues from 10th to 19th, 4th and 5th Avenues from 5th to 19th, and Beaver from 3rd Avenue to 34th Street. If your car is now parked along one of the emergency routes, you have until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to move it. If it isn't moved by then, the police will tag it and tow it away. That will cost you more than $20.
If everybody cooperates, we should be able to do all of the 5 snow routes that we are going to post in about 4 hours' time. But if we run into problems where we have to wait for wreckers to come and tow these cars and then come back and get another one, naturally it's going to take us longer.
When the emergency routes are clear, Murdoch says he'll spread the word through radio and TV stations. Then, and only then, should you return to your old parking place. Chris George, 2 Action News, Cedar Rapids.
Only once has an Iowa January been snowier. Road crews waged weekend wars against the elements like clockwork, only to restage the battles with the next new snow. And though no one really ever wins a battle with Mother Nature, clearing streets like these is expensive. In Marion, they've spent more than half of their snow removal budget already this year.
One unfortunate part about the snow budget is it does end up in the sewer in the months of April and May.
A single storm can cost Blackhawk County up to $15,000. They have spent more than half of their funds so far this season, but other governments are not so lucky. Waterloo streets officials say they're overrunning their budget, and so are crews in Johnson County and Cedar Rapids.
First of all, it never snows during normal working hours, which means that you're faced with overtime and having manpower that is not only working their normal hours, but now strapped by having at times working 16, 18-hour shifts.
The quick solution is to change the budget and to shift funds into snow removal. As a result, road construction and repair work slated for spring may be put off in many locations. Further cuts depend on the weather, and state climatologists say they expect 15 more inches of snow before the end of March. John Okerstrom, 2 Action News, Marion.